I wanted to look at this play because this was actually this was a really damn good play. This was a really damn good play. And let me, Trey Lance, a lot of people had questions about this guy. And what they're doing here is they're running a play action boot. So with the play action boot, the offensive line is going to be feigning run to the right. They're going to run hard to the right, get the defensive line moving. The goal is to get these linebackers to actually step into the line of scrimmage. That's the goal. So with that play action, these linebackers are going to be looking at the centers. They're going to be looking at the guards, seeing what they're doing. They're seeing these guys running hard, and you're going to try and get this guy here or this guy, this defensive end here or this linebacker to bite on this slide. We call this a slide by the tight end, a slide across to pull one of these defenders back into the boundary over here. So, let's look at this play, and I'll also break down this O-line and what they did here.
Right wing next to
Look at the linebackers. This is exactly what you want. That is good play action. The linebackers have bitten into the line, towards the line of scrimmage. Even the safeties are kind of flat-footed here, but you want this reaction from the backers. The entire defensive line is running this way. This is a perfect setup. Look at this. This is perfect. This is the guy who's the protector for the quarterback on this play. That was the tight end who did the Y slide across the formation on the play action, and he's going to set up as the protector. What they used to do back in the day on this was instead of they didn't used to have the tight end do a slide across. What we used to do was we would down block on the defensive tackle, pull the guard out, and the guard would go out and be the protector for the quarterback right here. So they're using the tight end in that spot. Perfect play action, holds the defense in place. This guy, look, when you have to wait on that block forever, like he's doing here, that means it was a good play action. That was a great play action. And, the play set itself up.
Trent Sherfield's got it. Trey area.
And that's a damn good play. That is a damn good play. That is a damn good play. And the O-line executes the play action. They sell the run perfectly. Look at the right tackle here. He's engaged with that defensive end. He's running his feet. This defensive end has no idea this is a pass play for the longest because it looks like a run. Everything is set up well here. Great play, great execution. I mean, that's something that San Fran needed. Not gonna lie, they needed something like that. Trey Lance looked really good with that. And if they show it again, see if we get another look at it. I think we all know who everybody's talking about today when it comes to preseason football and these quarterbacks who are debuting. I think even with, and again, Trevor Lawrence had a solid debut. He had a solid debut. I have no problem. He had a 90 overall QB rating. I have no problem with how he looked. But this guy right here has the weight of a franchise that has been in dire need of this quarterback position to perform. This guy right here, definitely the highlight of today's NFL action, in my opinion, Justin Fields. Now, let's take a look at this offensive line here. This is actually the same kind of play. They're not using any wide slide or anything, but this is a play action. Play action.
Now doing the snapping.
Offensive line, they're not really selling it, but it's because if you look at this, the quarterback, see, they did what I said that other teams do. They pulled that guard out of there. Let me run this back. I love when I see this stuff. So I can't remember the name that we used for this pull. But when you look at this, you're going to see this guard right here start as if it's right here. The center, actually. The center did that? That's weird. Is that the center?
Now doing the snap.
Yeah, okay. Well, shoot. So they're doing the Bears are using the center here to do this, but this is a pulling technique that is used on bootlegs for quarterbacks to be protected by a single lineman. Now, in order for this to work the best, you have to have really good self from your O-line for the run game, right? So this center is going to snap the ball. He's going to take a step or two in the run, as if he's running the ball, as if they're running the ball. And then he's going to spin back and come this way to protect the quarterback at his drop. So you'll see that here. He spins back. He sets up. They didn't really sell it great, but Miami obviously didn't need a lot to be fooled because they had no idea what was going on at this point. Miami had absolutely no idea what was going on. So Justin Fields has a great sell. His offensive line, decent, not great in their sell, but clearly they didn't need it. Miami's playing a zone, so they're all over the place. They're really only rushing like 3 guys, if you're being real here. They're not really rushing. Well, what is this guy doing? I mean, they're all over the place. They don't know what's going on. You can see they don't know what's going on. They are just completely lost. And it's a zone coverage. Sometimes zone coverage does that to you. Puts your defense in a hole. They don't know where if they bite on a play action, it can be hard for them to get to any of their spots. But great throw from Fields here. I mean, is there any better way to start that? Now let's keep perspective on this. Let's keep perspective on this. This is the third quarter of the first preseason game. Those are not the starters. Those are not the backups. Those are the bubble guys on that Miami roster. These are special teams and bubble guys for the most part. These are not the top defenders of the Miami Dolphins. And that's why these guys bit on pretty below average play action sell. And they actually allowed a man to run wide open and backpedal into the end zone. Let's be real about that for a second. I love what he did here. His operation is great. I love what he did. But let's be real. This was not a first team, a starting defense that he was going against. So, again, this is the NFL preseason. Temper your expectations, or not to say temper your expectations. Don't get overly excited about things that don't mean much of anything. It's nice to see, but it don't really mean nothing. Now, we understand what this cat, Justin Fields, means to the Chicago football Bears because they have been in dire need of someone with his talents and his ability and his potential for quite a long time. He was a huge get for Chicago. Huge get for them. But I'm more interested in his operation in this play rather than the outcome of what the play was, because the outcome is expected for this guy who is QB1. He may not be it right away, but he is QB1. This guy versus, his first looks at NFL defense. And yes, he gets a wide open guy, which is probably the result of a blown coverage more so than they just completely fooled these cats, which, again, it's hard for me to really tell because he did fool these cats because it's not guys who are going to be out there on the field starting necessarily at all or making the team necessarily. So, it is hard to look at that and understand, okay, what happened here versus if we're playing against a starting NFL defense where they're going to be covering him. He is going to be covered. It's going to be a much harder throw to make probably. It's going to be a much harder sell to get a bite from the defense. Absolutely. It's nice for the fans to see a Chicago Bears quarterback throw a football for a touchdown. So I understand where a lot of Chicago fans' excitements come from. Aaron, my boy Aaron, I know he was hyped about that on Twitter today. But again, like I'm saying, this is fluff that if you're really assessing what's going on here, then you're paying attention to the operation. And that's what I'm looking at. This is not great self from this offensive line. This pull, I'm not sure that I feel like that's a mental error because I've never seen a center do this. It's always the guard that does this, that spins out on that and protects. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's something new. Maybe that's something new. I've never seen that. But the concept of what he did, yes, that spin out, that kind of like pirouette into a pull, that is what happens with generally with that kind of play where you have a bootleg and then you want to have an extra protector out there for the quarterback. That is something that happens. But this play fake was not great by the O-line, but Justin Fields did a good job running his operation. He did a good job setting the fake. He leans into it. He shows the ball. I mean, hell, are they playing man here? These guys, nobody here is playing pass, which is what you want. Everybody on the defensive line is playing the run. They feel a little pressure. They're leaning. They're getting there. They're trying to protect their gaps, and they're playing the run. But also, oh my God, oh good Lord, hold on. Look at this guy. Watch this guy right here. Watch this guy. He bit the hardest. He's like, oh shit! Oh man, he bit the hardest. But definitely, that's a great throw. And here we go. Let's look at this here we go. Perfect. Let's break down the Chicago Bears line on this play from the end zone. So again, these guys are in this would be our 4-down lineman. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's who I would call our 4-down lineman. This is an over front linebacker, safety, D-line. You want to come out and run at him because last thing you want is for him to push up field. That makes this a harder play to run because this running back, you don't want him to have to hook back to try and help on that. You have to attack this guy's outside shoulder, and you have to get him to flatten as if you're running the ball. Good. Now, does he do that? I would say look at how high he is. Look at his upper body. If you're studying this film, then this to me would be a tell that this is a play action, the way he's running at him. If you're a defensive lineman studying this, and then look, what the hell is this? He's got his hands down. Oh my God. I get anxiety looking at this. He got his hands down. This guy, again, this is not a starter. If it was, he would be attacking the shoulder immediately. This is not a run block. And he's not even gotten to his play action yet. This is not a run. That's not a run block either. Neither is this. This can be construed right here as him trying to come in to scoop this guy out from the center. Everybody's high. This doesn't look like a run. But again, like I said, these aren't starters. So to them, that does kind of look like a run. Because look at what this guy does. His first step is right. This defensive end's first step, you're right. You know what you're doing. This is your gap. You protect your gap. Get upfield. What does he do? He settles down and lets this guy grab his pads. That's not good. He's already bit from 30 yards out. He's messed up. These guys they just all got set up. He's not even, he's still trying to figure out what's going on here. They run, what are they doing? This is not a good job at all by Miami's defensive front. This is a terrible job by their defensive front. I still cannot get over the fact that they're using the pirouette pull with the center. That's dangerous. That's dangerous because this guy has to get on his horse and has to get to this guy in a heartbeat. But again, this guy is not reading this center pulling out of here and attacking to close that space behind him. He allows himself to get blocked. He allows himself to get blocked here. These guys are, they all allow themselves to be blocked when, if they're actually reacting to what's going on, they would have been actually crossing faces here, crossing faces, getting upfield, cutting inside, firing behind that pulling center, because that is a tell that something is going on when the center pulls out of there. These are things that you're not seeing, from guys who are trying to make the 53-man roster. And you're not going to make the 53-man roster if you can't be the guy who can see these things and react to them in an appropriate manner. So hell, you've already fired down here 30 yards. Go get the sack. You can beat him to the spot. He turns around. This is low IQ football. Look at this. If anything, you've committed to something. You're wrong, so just be wrong and go make the play. That's what coaches are telling this guy in the meeting room right now. They're telling him, you already fucked up. Only way to save it is to actually make the play. And he would have sacked this cat immediately if he just fires and just goes. But you have to have high IQ to know, to have that principle already in you. Okay, I'm wrong, so now I can freelance. I'm wrong either way I go. I can't get back into coverage, and I've bitten on the play action, so I might as well just freelance and try to make the sack, try to make the play, whatever the hell I can do. You have to disrupt the play at this point. That's the only option you got. The only option you got. This is what a young player who is scared to make a mistake, this is what happens. He gets scared, he tries to get back. No, bruh, you could have already sacked him. Play would have been over. Or at least you would have, there's an argument as to whether you would have been able to sack him, but you would have stopped him from being able to make an easy throw for a touchdown. Because that's what this is. You would have been a challenge that maybe would have made him have to scramble. Maybe he extends the play and he just throws the ball away because he doesn't got anybody. But this here, just go. Be a playmaker now. You don't got nothing else to live for on that one. But this is what we get. And so it's a nice play. There's nothing wrong with seeing him make that play.